How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FP and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video we're going to be talking about the Game Week 11 team selection. We're going to be looking at how the squad got on in Game Week 10 before turning our attention to our transfer plan, considering this news of the Aston Villa versus Newcastle game being postponed. As of recording this video, unfortunately we have no news of when that game is going to be moved to, so we're just going to have to take that into mind that we might not even get news before the deadline. So we kind of just have to prepare for what's in front of us in terms of Game Week 11. And we're also going to be finalizing the team as well as talking about our captain going into Game Week 11. So that's something to just sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So a new season calls for a new sponsor, but here on the Dayvy FPL channel, we like our old. So I've brought back the old sponsor, OneFootball, but with a completely new revamped app. Yes, OneFootball has gone over a complete marketing revamp, new logo, new everything. I've checked it out, looks really good. They kind of took the old app but just made it better, so I'm really appreciative of that. If you want to go check them out, link down in the description below to go download the app. If you don't know who they are, they're the biggest app on iOS and Android, so go check them out. I personally use them, so I can recommend them from a personal level. So review on how the squad got on in Game Week 10. We managed to get a final points of 54, which was about 10 points above the average of 44. So a pretty decent game week considering how badly the squad looked going into a Game Week 10, especially that defense, but we'll be talking about that in a rundown. But a green arrow up to about that 3 millionth place, so at least it was a green arrow, not a red arrow. This game week could have actually got a lot better than I expected, but we'll be talking about that in a little bit. So starting off in goal, we have Martinez, who only managed to get 1 point. I thought that Aston Villa vs West Ham game would have been quite a close game, but I was kind of just hoping for Martinez clean sheet. This has actually been, I think, the second game week in a row now that Aston Villa haven't kept a clean sheet with a little bit more of a favourable fixture, so that's a little bit of a worry there, as I thought ever since I brought him in, he's got I think 1 clean sheet or 2 clean sheets when I've expected him to get quite more. Still a couple of nice fixtures coming up in the future after that postponement, so we might still be holding on to him, but I'll be talking about him a little bit more in the transfer plan. So then we have Chilwell, who managed to get a clean sheet as well as some bonus points. Now that Spurs-Chelsea game was quite a boring one. There were a couple of chances on either side, but I was really happy with getting a clean sheet out of that one, especially because a lot of people owned Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, so I'll definitely take those bonus points along with that clean sheet. Then we have Charlie Taylor, who I really didn't want to play considering our captain Kevin De Bruyne, but unfortunately because of some rotation in that Man City lineup, Taylor ended up coming on and he got minus 2 points there, so taking him to 0 points because of how many goals Burnley conceded. Kyle Walker-Peters with 1 point suffered a comeback victory against Man United. Did have a couple of chances. He actually had a nice shot that hit the post within the first half, so a little bit disappointed that he didn't manage to get some attacking returns, but I mean, it was against tough opposition, so I guess I have to take that one in my stride. Going to the midfield, we'll first talk about De Bruyne, and I'm going to link him with my other Manchester City options here. So really happy with the De Bruyne 10 points. However, I know it might be a little bit greedy, but considering that Man City scored 5 goals, 2 assists from De Bruyne, I was hoping for a little bit more considering the result, but I mean 10 points double to 20 is good for my captaincy, and I did manage to captain the high scoring player, Kevin De Bruyne, along with Bruno Fernandes scoring 10 points there, so I guess that's a little bit of a win. But the main disappointment of my game week was the fact that Raheem Sterling and Cancelo were benched. So my transfer this week was Coleman to Cancelo. I was always talking about going for Diaz, but I just thought that although Cancelo was a little bit more of a rotation risk, I think if he managed to start, he definitely has a better chance of getting more points than Diaz because of his attacking threat. So I simply went for this transfer. Now looking back on it, it doesn't look that good. I don't even know if I would have gone for a Man City defender anyway. With Nathan Ake coming back, even that centre back spot seems like there's going to be a lot of rotation there. So Benjamin Mendy managing to start and scoring a goal as well, just to put more salt in the wounds there for that Cancelo transfer. But I mean, if Sterling started and Cancelo both started, I reckon that we would have had a lot more points against that Burnley side, and the team would have been looking a lot better, and that green arrow would have been a lot bigger. So that's basically the reason I was disappointed, because this game week had the potential to actually be quite a good game week for us, but unfortunately it came down not with the worst result. We still managed to get a green arrow, but as I said, not as big as it could have been. We then have Podence, who finally managed to repay my patience in the Wolves attacker with a nice goal there against Arsenal, which took him to 9 points. Also had a couple of bonus points. So I'm happy with him, but unfortunately this might be one of the last game weeks he's with us. Then we have Bruno Fernandes with 10 points, yet again showing his consistency this FPL season, just as such a consistent player and returner for our squads. So he doesn't look like he's going to be going anywhere, especially when he's returning double-digit hauls most game weeks. Basuma wasn't really meant to start, but unfortunately because of that whole Man City situation came off the bench, so his 2 points are quite welcomed. I guess it's better than getting none. And then going into the striker department, where there's a lot to talk about, but not a lot of points to talk about. So starting off with Calvert-Lewin against Leeds, seemed like quite a close game. Everton not really on that form they were at the start of the season, so he only managed 2 points. Then we'll talk about Raul Jimenez, unfortunately with that head injury, giving him our best wishes there on his recovery. I think it was a fractured skull that he suffered, so he's definitely going to be out for the foreseeable future, and unfortunately I have to take him out because of that injury. But 1 point there, managing to start the game, but I think he only played about 5 minutes, but there's nothing much to talk about because he was injured. But there's actually a lot to talk about with Ollie Watkins. So getting a penalty, managing to miss it. He didn't even have to hit it off the crossbar. He could have literally gone down low on that right hand side. The keeper went to the left, so he would have scored anyway, but he went for power there, and it kind of missed the goal, hitting the crossbar. And then he also got a goal ruled offsides for VAR. So I'm not going to go too much into that whole VAR discussion because I think it's been over-analyzed entirely this week. But you kind of know what my general consensus is on how ridiculous that decision was. But he managed to get 0 points there, so quite disappointed as an owner, as he's a little bit of a differential in that Aston Villa side. And considering that Jack Grealish did so well, I was a little bit disappointed that Ollie Watkins couldn't keep up with that. On the bench, nothing much to talk about there. Already spoken about the Man City options, and then Ferguson. I don't really know when he's going to be coming back, but hopefully it's soon, as he just provides that other bench option for us. Now let's get on to the transfer considerations. So I'm going to be talking about each kind of transfer thought and what we could be doing. So the first transfer that is pretty much likely to happen is going to be Raul Jimenez out pretty much for Bamford. So what I was thinking about before Bamford was Callum Wilson. If you want to go into that whole analysis, we went over budget forwards in depth in the Game Week 11 preview, so link down in the description below. But with Callum Wilson's having his fixture postponed, I don't really know what to think about that, and it's not even like it's only going to be one game week. There's talks about maybe a potential next game week also being postponed against West Bromwich Albion, which is going to kind of lead us in a no man's land. So because Callum Wilson's out, kind of the only other striker that I really favor in that budget option is Bamford. We've spoken about his stats being so good, and I don't really think he's the worst transfer in the world. I think he's going to be getting occasional threat every single game just because of the way Leeds set up. They're kind of a fixture-proof team per se, and not in terms of results. They're definitely going to lose some, but they definitely still get chances because of just how attacking they are. So Bamford, no matter the opposition, is still going to get chances. We just got to kind of hope if he comes into our squad that he finishes them. So that's pretty much the transfer that's going to be confirmed. I've not made it yet. I'm kind of waiting for as much news as possible. So I might even make it in that deadline stream on Saturday morning / afternoon / evening, wherever you are in the world. So just keep your eyes out on my Twitter page for that. And then the second transfer that we could do is because of the money that's coming from that Raul Jimenez to Bamford transfer, we could upgrade Podence to Diogo Jota. So exchanging kind of the Portuguese for Portuguese there. What I really would have liked to have done is take Basuma out for Diogo Jota, but unfortunately because of his price rise last night, I can no longer afford that move, and I never was going to kind of make moves before we have some clarification on this whole Newcastle versus Aston Villa scenario. So these two moves could have potential, but I think the one that I will be making this week is Raul Jimenez out, and it's probably going to be for Bamford. Now I also want to talk about Martinez, because a lot of questions have been asked to me in the YouTube comments and on my Twitter page, is should you take Martinez out for a hit? So basically that's the scenario that I would be in as well. So the general thinking behind it is that because Martinez is not going to start, any keeper that plays has basically a minimum of 2 points. They can obviously get some minus points for goals conceded there, but they should be scoring 2 points. So that means you have to just make up 2 points in the future. I would only take out Martinez if you have a keeper that you want that has really good fixtures in the foreseeable future, as then you're pretty much going to be guaranteeing making those points up. But you must also remember that the Aston Villa vs Newcastle game is being postponed because of Newcastle, not Aston Villa. So pretty much they're going to have a 1 week kind of break, and then next game week they should be playing their game. So it's only going to be one game week that you miss out on. And the thing is that now they're going to have 2 doubles if they miss out on game week 11. Because of that game week 1 miss that they have, they're going to have a double game week for that, and then they're going to have another double game week because of this Newcastle fixture. So whether that double game week happens in the foreseeable future or maybe at the end of the season is yet to be seen. But if it does happen in the foreseeable future, I really want to have Martinez still. So that's why I'm pretty much going to keep on with him. I don't think there's many keepers around that price bracket that I have much faith in. So I'm willing to kind of just take the 0 keeper points there and move on with him for the future. So this is how the squad is setting out for game week 11. I've not made any transfers, as I said. I'm probably going to make them a little bit later on, maybe even on that Saturday deadline stream. stream, but basically the squad is not looking too bad. It was looking a lot better before that whole Aston Villa vs Newcastle postponement, but I think with the captaincy options, especially the Man City options, if they play, we're going to be on for a good game week. So I'm not going to talk about too much with the lineup because I think this video is getting a little bit long, but the general consensus about the captaincy is I just don't really have faith in Sterling starting, so I'm going to go for the safety option of Kevin De Bruyne. So Kevin De Bruyne was rested in the Champions League this midweek, so basically guaranteed to start hopefully unless there is an injury concern. So that's why I'm going for the safety option as a captaincy. I could look at Sterling for more of a differential, and that's quite tempting, but I just think that I don't have much faith in him starting, and I don't really want him to come on in the final minutes to get 1 point, then double to 2 with the captaincy. So De Bruyne is pretty much going to be our captain this week. We've got some other good fixtures around there with the likes of Chilwell versus Leeds. I know if we bring in Bamford, we're probably hoping that Chilwell manages to concede there. Maybe he can get an attacking return. And if Cancelo starts, which I don't know if he will, I think I have more faith in Sterling starting than Cancelo, then he could also look for a clean sheet and maybe some attacking returns. And then at least on the bench, we do have Basuma. So if we come on the wrong side of that rotation, at least he can come on for his usual 2 points. So this is how the squad's looking. And there will be changes, of course. Probably Raul Jimenez out for Bamford. But this is basically how we're going to be setting up for Game Week 11. So this is basically a wrap the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new and have not subscribed yet. I'll be checking you guys in the deadline stream on Saturday, or on my Twitter at DayvyFPL. I'm going to be signing off. It's me, DayvyFPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.